In this video, we're going to learn how to use the Custom Actions mod for Wurm Unlimited. Custom Actions mod allows you to bind keys for just about any action in the game. How that works is a Custom Actions mod allows you to see numbers that correspond to specific actions. Then you can use those numbers to create keybinds using the console. How you see these numbers once you have the mod installed is you type in act_show space on. Now what I've done is put this in my autorun.txt, which is located in my Wurm launcher /player files /configs /default folder. And once you put it in autorun, it'll automatically run that when you load the game up, so you'll never have to type it in again. So let's say that we want to tend to these crops. I can create a bind by just looking up the number. In this case, I can't tend. It's not giving me the option because they're ripe. Or no, they're almost ripe. I'm sorry. Let me hang on a second. Maybe it's because I don't have my rake activated. That's what it is. Let's say I want to tend these crops. I can take the number 151, which is for farming or tending, and use that to create a bind. So I'll go bind space, which is a space bar. I need quotes, act for action, 151, hover, which is going to affect anything my mouse is hovering over. So if I press the space bar now, it should tend to this particular tile here. And I can tend to other tiles. But let's say that I want to speed up the process and tend more than one tile at a time. I can do that by telling it to use area instead. And what it does is it uses a 3x3 surrounding the player. So now I can press the space bar and it'll start tending the crops around me. Now these three are already tended, so it didn't tend those. Once the area is tended, we can move forward 3 tiles because remember, this one's tended. We want to tend this one, but we want to be in the center of the 9 tiles. So we're going to move 3 tiles forward. 1, 2, 3. And now it's going to tend this one, this one, this one, then this one, this one, this one, and this one, this one, and this one. So that's how you can set it up to tend crops with just one action. Now we're going to combine multiple actions and multiple tools in the tool belt. And how we do this is we set it up with action 1 tool belt, which is going to activate this tool belt slot 1, and then it's going to tend on the current tile that the mouse was hovered over, and then it's going to select the second tool in the tool belt and it's going to harvest. Now you don't need a scythe to harvest cucumbers, but if you have it set for that, it'll automatically use it anyway. So that's how that works. And the reason I'm doing it on a per tile basis rather than area is because if you've got say you've got 9 tiles and you have 4 actions, it's going to set up those actions on the 10 that you have max, and then it's going to drop the ones that it can't do. So you have to do it on a per tile basis. So this is tending, then it's switching to the scythe, and then it's going to go back to the rake and tend, switch to the scythe. Watch really close. I got the rake, and then I've got the scythe. So that's really nice for doing two actions in one. What I want to do is store all this stuff in here because I've got too much. Okay, we can do the same thing here. In this way we can maximize our yield by making sure we tend before we actually harvest. Okay, so you get that idea. Now let's learn how to replant. This is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to take and get 4 lettuce, and I'm going to pick the seeds, and I'm going to put those in my satchel. So I'm going to take this and drop it in a satchel. Then I'm going to find a place that I can use an empty tool belt. Throw this up there, and you can see it has 4 seeds in it, right? So next we need to bind our sow, which is 153. So I'm going to bind space act 153 hover. So I hit 1 to select one of the seeds in the satchel. Then I hit spacebar, 1 spacebar, 1 spacebar, 1 spacebar. Now I can move on to the next one and get some seeds from here. And then we just need to put those in our satchel. If I can remember which one it is, this one? Yes. Okay, it's the same thing. 1 space, 1 space, 1 space, 1 space. So it makes it really quick. A couple more notes before I let you go. The way I use Custom Actions mod most of the time is I do my binds on the fly. I'll hit F1 for console, and I'll just either type it out or cycle through history with the up and down arrow and modify a line. I'll put the number in that I have memorized for space, which this one's wrong, and then I'll just press enter and it's ready to go. I use spacebar most of the time. There are some times when I'll use another key along with spacebar, but for the most part I don't. I just use spacebar because what I'm trying to do is eliminate hand stress on my mouse hand and also on my my typing hand, my left hand. So anything I can do to eliminate stress, I'm going to do. And so the spacebar is the simplest and easiest thing to eliminate stress. You just tap the spacebar. It doesn't require any bent fingers. It doesn't require any, twitchy finger movements. You can use your whole hand and just tap the spacebar, and that's why I like that. But let's say that you're the type of person that wants to do profiles of keybinds for different tasks. Let's say you have a bunch of keys you want to use, but you want to swap out the binds for those keys so that you can use them for different tasks. You can do that by loading in text files that have lists of binds in them. If you go to your Wurm Launcher, Player Files, Configs, and Default folder, you can create text files in there that you can load with the exec command. You type in exec and then the name, like farming. Now notice that I specifically set these up without the text extension, and the reason for that is because it's easier to type in. You just need to edit the file, save it without an extension, put your binds in there, and you can swap out whatever you want. So without an extension, you don't have to type the extension, it's just easier. And you just load it in. Then when you're done with that, you can do exec mining, and you can name these something shorter. These are just examples. And then you can load in and swap out different binds for the same keys, or different keys, however you want to do it. Also, if you need more information on how to use the mod, you can find it on my wiki page, which is freth.us/player Then if you go to how to use mods and scroll down, you'll find it right here. You'll find a link to the author's forum post and also this video, which is forthcoming, and all the information that I could find on the particular mod. It's very, very sparse documentation, but you should find enough here to figure out how to use it and make it do what you want. And if you need help, someone in global chat can help, or get in contact with me and we'll try to figure it out. But if you go to the forum post, you'll find that he has other mods here that are also popular. You'll find a link to an explanation which is very simplified, doesn't really give you a lot of information. Then you can go to the GitHub page, which has some version information with additions and examples. So those are the sources that you can use from the author himself that will give you additional information if you can find it. I've pretty much compiled all the information I could find and put it on the page. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know.